All right, good afternoon, good evening, Cubs fans. It's AJ, your average fan here. Welcome back, and welcome in. Yeah, it's been a minute, been a week since we did an update. I apologize for that. A lot of things have happened in the last week. My wife celebrated her birthday on Thursday. I bought a car on Friday. Life's been a little bit busy. Did not have the time to do our weekly update last Thursday. So we will roll last week's update and this week's update on Thursday together. So that will be a 2 week update. Well, we will do a complete teardown of the Dodger series, the Padres, and the Diamondbacks, and then also the 2 game series against the Dodgers coming up. We will be previewing that a little bit later. But I would like to get into it. So, like I said, we're catching up here on some action that we missed against the Padres and the Diamondbacks. The Cubs dropped the series to the Padres, their first series loss, if you don't consider the series in Japan. And then they win the series against the Diamondbacks. The Cubs holding strong in this gauntlet of a schedule that is almost over. There are 2 more series left, LA, Philly, and then your schedule gets a little bit lighter. You'll be playing your division, the Pirates and the Brewers, and then I believe you go out to San Francisco. Uh, the Cubs, right now, they currently, dang, can I help? I need that one right there. Nope, not that one. Unreal. I should have pulled this up beforehand. So yeah, the Cubs currently sitting at 14 and 10 above the National League Central. There are some still very glaring issues inside of that bullpen. I think that Craig is doing his best to take some corrective action. We will have to put Robert Presley on a little bit of a pedestal. He has been turning his work around. The offense just continuing to do their thing. Lots of good things coming out of the Cubs since we last spoke on live a week ago. We will start by looking at the Padres series. The first game, a little bit of a downer. The Cubs scored 4 runs. The Padres scored 10. A little bit of a bullpen meltdown on that Monday game. If we go on into Tuesday, final in 10, the Cubs win 2-1. Excellent bullpen showing there. This is where Presley starts to turn his luck around big time. For whatever reason, this just seemed to be this game Tuesday, April 15th, just is the game where I see Presley really finding his groove and locking it in. He's had 3 games in a row where he went 1, 2, 3. Really good stuff out of him there. Wednesday, you lose the game 2-4. In that game, I'm not so. There's really nobody to blame. The offense just got held to 2 runs. The bullpen didn't really do too bad. Boyd gave up 2 runs in the third. So that was a really nice competitive game all around that you lose there. And it didn't look terrible, as a matter of fact. It really didn't. It was just the offense just was quiet that day. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, I mean, you held them to 4 runs, you lost by 2. I mean, those games will happen. That game's really not the fault of anybody, I don't think. I think that I do believe that the Cubs definitely left a couple of men stranded on base. You got 2 runs off of 6 hits, so there's a little bit to be desired there. But really, nothing too bad. So there you go. You dropped that first series of the season in San Diego, but you avoid getting swept, which is kind of a key there because just before that was the Dodgers series, and you took 2 out of 3 there. So I figured as long as you could win one, you walk away out of that road trip 3-3. I was really hoping for 4-2. 4-2 was definitely possible, but she split it 3-3. I really can't complain there because it is the Dodgers in San Diego on the West Coast. San Diego was undefeated at home until that Tuesday game when you won 2-1. So off day on Thursday, and then Friday, some real exciting things happened at that game. I'm actually gonna pull up the box for this game because this game was absolutely crazy. Um, the Cubs got an early lead in the second inning. They were up 2-0. Arizona scores one in the fifth. The Cubs put up 5 in the seventh to go up 7-1, and then the Diamondbacks scored 10 in the eighth. An absolute obliteration of the Cubs bullpen, and we will talk about that. But the offense simply just refused to lose after that game that they lost in Arizona, where they were leading 7-2, and they wound up losing 8-7 or 9-7 way back when you were out in Arizona. The offense just refused to lose this one. Everybody on the Cubs side was producing this on this day. Ian Happ went 3 for 5, Tucker 3 for 5, Suzuki 1 for 5, Bush 3 for 5. We also got to talk about Bush here in a minute too because he's been really impressive. Horner 2 for 4, Crow Armstrong 2 for 4, Kelly went 2 for 4 with a couple of home runs. Bruhan got a hit. You know, I'm really loving what the mentality of this offense. I mean, they score in so many different ways compared to last year. I mean, you're getting men over on steals, double steals. You're taking your walks. You're doing everything absolutely right. And I mean, when it comes to uh, when it comes to uh, you know, the Cubs offense compared to last year in 2023, they're not necessarily relying on the home run ball so much, but the home run ball is certainly helping, right? And then on top of that, when you not have to rely on the home run and you're kind of using that as a bonus, you're getting guys over, you're taking sac flies with a man on third, really clutch hitting out of Nico Horner. I think that his batting average it dipped in the last game of that series, but I know that going into game one, he was batting like 500 with runners in scoring position, which is absolutely just astronomical. Carson Kelly, his OPS still above 1500. Kyle Tucker's OPS still above 1,000. You know, the offense is just clicking on, they're firing on all cylinders in every aspect of the game. I mean, their base running is just outstanding. And we're gonna just pull up Michael Bush here because I really would like to talk about him in the 2024. Oh, that's 2024. In the 2025 regular season. Now, mind you, he mostly plays against righties. He does occasionally play against lefties, and now with third base being kind of a question mark, uh, Bush has played against more lefties in the last couple of days. But in 79 at bats, he's got a 316 average, 5 home runs, 16 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and a 944 OPS. That is the thing that is the key here in Michael Bush. It's not the home runs, not even necessarily the RBIs, but that OPS of 944, batting behind Kyle Tucker. We all talked about how Kyle Tucker and Suzuki being 2-3 in the lineup was going to be just insanely hard to hit. And Michael Bush is kind of sneaking in here now to be an extremely dangerous number 4 hitter. I mean, with an OPS of 944 behind Kyle Tucker or Suzuki, whichever way they are in the lineup that day, if you have a man on first and second, do you really want to walk Kyle Tucker to face Michael Bush with 1 out, even 2 outs? I really don't think you want to. At a 316 average and a 944 OPS, Michael Bush carrying over his production rate of what he did at the end of the season last year. Like he started really hot, then he cooled off, and he got kind of hot again at the end of the year. And him, if he levels off at like an 850, 875 OPS guy behind Kyle Tucker, and then Dansby Swanson gets right at the five hitter with Nico Horner in the six hole. I mean, this lineup is going to be absolutely dangerous. This is why the bullpen needs to get their game straightened out because this you cannot waste this lineup with what they're doing right now. Especially with that, this 11 to 13 game that I'm talking about. Kyle Tucker puts a two-run homer into the bleachers to put the Cubs up 12-11, and then Suzuki comes right behind him and smashes another homer to get us up to 13. Like this offense refuses to lose. And even when they're struggling, even when the offense is quiet, like they're still getting productive outs, like what would be considered productive outs. Like you have a man on second and you sack fly to get him over to third, and then maybe you have two outs and you just find an unlucky spot to put the ball. Like the games where the offense has been quiet so far this year, it's not like they're just not hitting. It's more or less they're hitting into unlucky gaps. Like they're just finding an outfielder's glove or an infielder's glove. It's not like the production lull that we saw last year for 2.5 months where they just couldn't hit anything um, outside of maybe Dansby Swanson. He's really struggling right now. But when it comes to seeing like Michael Bush, Seiya Suzuki is also still up there. Let's take a look at his numbers. I mean, his numbers are still looking really solid. I mean, so far he's 82 at bats, 268, six home runs, still an 888 OPS. I mean, if you could get guys like Suzuki and Bush to end up around that 850, 875 to close out the season, and you have Kyle Tucker right in between the two, that is so dangerous because these are guys that you don't want to walk the bases loaded to face the other two, like at all. Like you don't want to walk Suzuki to load the bases when you have Kyle Tucker and Mikey B right behind him. You just really don't want to. The only guy that's still really struggling right now, and I really hate to see it because I know that he will come around based on what happened last year, is Dansby Swanson. I mean, he's batting 177 right now. He's got four home runs, 12 RBIs. It's the OPS number I feel like is kind of skewed a little bit just because he hits the ball hard when he does. It's just not hard enough. He's just getting a little too much lift on the ball. The other problem with his average being so low is he's swinging at a lot of really high fastballs out of the zone. This was a problem with Suzuki too, but he got that under control kind of quickly. Same with Michael Bush. He did the same thing last year, a little bit early on this year, but he kind of got that at bay pretty quick. I think once Dansby, and I've held on to this since the beginning of the season, if Dansby Swanson can just control the top of that zone and not swing at high fastballs out of the zone, I really think that his average and his OPS will just skyrocket because even Dansby Swanson's got two stolen bases. He's not necessarily the fastest guy on the base pads, but he still has a couple of stolen bases. Even with that 177 average, he still already has 12 RBIs. He's got four home runs. You know, he's a career 250 hitter. Last year he ended at a 244 after starting like a 130 or a 140. So like he turned it around, and I have no doubt that he will this year too. Um, it's just you got to try to control that top of the zone stuff. That seems to be the thing that's getting him right now is top of the zone. Um, but I think that if he gets that top of the zone under control, he'll do just fine. I really do. But if we move into Saturday's game was another game where you just jumped on the offense or their starting pitcher very quickly. That was a theme this entire series. I mean, uh, you had to face Gallon. You had to face the top three in their rotation, and you jumped on Gallon real quick. You put up, you put up two in the first, four in the second. You didn't score the rest of the game, but you held them to one. And I think that outside of the first game of the series, where the bullpen absolutely imploded and gave up, 8 or 10 runs in the eighth, which is also kind of skewed in my opinion because uh, you know, I don't think that Hodge coming in with the bases loaded is going to end very well for him. I think that he's a guy that needs to come in with the bases cleared. I know that he's a high leverage guy. I know it's his job. He should be able to come in, get three punchies, or at least limit the damage. But he just flat out does better when there's no one on base. I know that he, along with a couple of other guys, have a problem with walking, the first batter of the inning, but Hodge has proven that he is in that circle of trust, in my opinion. I do think that Presley is getting there. His last six outings now, he's been really solid. Three of those outings, he got him just mowed him down, one, two, three. This is the Presley that you signed. I mean, he's brought down his ERA. Let me see here. Sunday's game. And then Sunday, you drop Sunday's game, which, not the end of the world. Wicks did a really good job in the 10th and the 11th, really limiting the damage. Nico Horner dropped the ball to allow a run to score. Wicks did, however, gun down, um, you know, uh, golly, what's his name? Trying to steal home. So, I mean, there is good things to come out of this game. It's just the wind was blown in. It was a pitcher's day. Arizona just got one in the 11th, and we couldn't. I mean, Ian Happ hit a rocket of a ball in the bottom of the 11th, but I mean, and then unfortunately, Birdie gets doubled off there. But I mean, you're in no man's land. There's nothing you can do about that. But Presley again went one inning with a strikeout, didn't allow any runs. I mean, he's lowered his ERA from an 8 all the way down to a 2.45 as it currently sits. Merriweather with a 193, still Roberts a 169. I think that Hodges' ERA at a 675. I do think that that's highly inflated just because of Friday's game. Like I said, him coming in with the bases loaded. Once he got hit, the hits just kept coming. Oh, excuse me. Once he got hit, the hits just kept coming. So I think that that really inflates his ERA. I think that Hodge is still going to be just fine. And the other thing too, with the 2 days off that you have this week, one, it really helps to refresh your bullpen because we're off today before the two games against the Dodgers, and then we have our normal Thursday off. So that will help the bullpen kind of get a reset. The other thing too is you still have a couple of guys for the Cubs that are on, uh, you know, the IL, that are, well, not IL, but they're on, um, but they're still on rehab assignment. So if I look here, see if I can pull up this roster real quick, just to get an idea here. Let's see here. Jack Neely is still in the minors. Uh, so yeah, Javier Assad is still in AAA. Brazier should be ready to go here pretty soon, I would imagine. And who is the other guy? Tyson Miller. Tyson Miller is also the other guy still down in AAA doing his rehab. So Tyson Miller and Javier Assad really could be the big difference makers here, I think. Because then you could really kind of flex things with Ben Brown a little bit. Colin Ray has been doing also a really good job doing spot starts in that steal spot of the rotation while they figure that out. So if Ray could get stretched out and be a semi-decent starter for the foreseeable future, Javier Assad and Tyson Miller coming back could be absolutely huge. And another pleasant surprise, uh, in that bullpen is Daniel Palencia. I mean, the guy's hitting 101. I mean, he's just throwing absolute gas out there. So, I mean, I don't think that, I think that the bullpen, the thing is that the Cubs keep winning series, and part of that is the bullpen. For as bad as they are, they got to get the walks under control, sure. but the bullpen is keeping you in the game enough that you keep winning series outside of the one that you dropped in San Diego. Now, do you want to see, 4 games already in the season where you've absolutely imploded? No, because usually you see 4 to 6 games during the course of a season where you're letting up that many runs in one inning. So is that for concern? Yeah, sure. But like I said, you also have guys coming back that will definitely help. You sent Pearson down to try to help him get right because he's been getting knocked around quite a bit. So I mean, Luke Little, I believe, got sent down because he was getting hit a little bit. So kind of help him get straight. So really, um, really, you have the depth there that you could kind of piece it together until the All-Star break. The problem is do you believe that Jed Hoyer will really actually go out and get a meaningful impact arms for the bullpen, or a guy to replace Justin Steele, and then you do a rotating fifth man within the rotation where you mix it between Ben Brown and Colin Ray, or somebody like that. Because Matthew Boyd has been a guy that's been uh, really surprising as well. I mean, he's not getting the 7 innings that say Justin Steele or Imanaga get, but he's eating enough innings that it helps the bullpen. Because I mean, if you're getting 2 starters per series that are going 6 innings, uh, even without Steele, it only helps the bullpen because if you could get one guy to eat up 2 innings, then you're at Hodge and Presley already. So, I mean, really, I think that the shell shock of Steele having to go out, I think that sting has gone away. And I think that Council is kind of figuring out how to manage the bullpen, knowing that potentially once every 4 to 5 days, your starter may only go 4 or 5 innings. I think that initial shock of going around that rotation twice now, uh, I think that he's starting to figure out how to go in the direction of managing that. Again, with this week having that weird 2 days off also really helps the bullpen at a time where they need it when you're going up against the Dodgers and then the Phillies. So, I do think that I think that Assad is pretty close to coming back. I'm not sure about Tyson Miller. I haven't seen his rehab. So let me see if I could see it. No, MLB.com does not show. Oh, it does show minors. Okay, let me see what we got here in the minors. He really hasn't let up a whole run yet? Okay, so he's only appeared in 2 games so far, it looks like, with 2.1 innings pitched, 2 hits, so that's good. 4 strikeouts, though. That's actually really good. Um, so yeah, I'd imagine he probably goes another couple down there in Iowa. Let's take a look at Assad, see where he's at real quick. That's still Tyson Miller. Go back to where is he? 40 man. There it is. All right, let's see. Because I know he's doing his rehab assignment right now. Minors 2025. Got a 2.7 ERA, 1 game, 3.1 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run. Okay, so and 4 strikeouts. Perfect. So okay, so if they're gonna stretch him to be a starter immediately, I could see him going a little bit longer than uh I could see him going a little bit longer than I could see him going yeah, see he was a starter last year, 29 games, 147 innings pitched, 3.73 ERA. Not terrible. Uh Career regular season, 70 games, 4 and 11, 3.40 ERA, 294 innings pitched. So yeah, they might stretch him out to get into the rotation, perhaps to take Steele's spot. I could see that being an option. So like I said though, I mean there's still options to be had because Eli Morgan hit the IL, so that will free up a spot. Jack Neely, let's see uh, what his minors stats are kind of looking like here. Uh, oh, never mind. He's getting kind of hit. 6 games, 5.2 innings pitched, 4 hits and 6 runs. Ouch. Okay, so well, 2 home runs. That'll do it. We'll kind of have to let him go a couple more to see what his numbers will look like. But like I said though, Colin Ray is a guy who's really been pleasantly surprising me. Uh, in 5 games, 132 ERA so far, 13.2 innings pitched. I know that that's a low count for 5 games, but you also got to imagine. I think 3 of those games, he was not a starter. He was in the bullpen, so there's also that. But 12 strikeouts in 13 innings. So, I mean, again, you could also stretch him out to kind of. I mean, I know that he kind of got forced into Justin Steele's spot, but he was with Milwaukee last year. I believe, he was with Milwaukee the year before that too, when Council was still there. So I mean, there is some history there. Um, but yeah, I mean, I honestly really do think that I really do think that there's options, and there is not a reason to hit the panic button yet, given the record. I'm not going to sit here and say that the Cubs are not in a position to be worried. I do think that you want to try to tighten it up a little bit so that you're not giving up, 2 games over the course of a week. Because you've essentially gone 4-2 just about every single week that you've played so far. It would be nice to get a 5-1 in there, you know. But if you keep winning series, theoretically you should have no problem making the postseason. Because if you keep winning series and you're around that 590 to 610 area at the end of the year, that's usually a guaranteed postseason spot, especially with the way that the National League Central is looking right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and look at this up real quick. National League. Uh, so yeah, obviously, I mean, you look at that's American League. Uh, in the National League East, the Mets are up top, 15-7. The Cubs are up top in the North, 14-10. The Brewers are 12-10. They play a game tonight, so that maybe we get some help there. Uh, the Cubs, ironically, have a better road split than a home split. 6-5 at home, 8-5 on the road. The Padres are up top of their division, 16-6. So, I do think that, the Brewers, I don't think that their pitching is very sustainable. Obviously their offense creates a lot for them. I don't think that their pitching is sustainable. Neither do I think that for the Cardinals. Like I said, I do think that we could get some help tonight from who the Brewers are playing potentially. I'm actually going to look that up right now, real quick. The Brewers play. The Brewers play the Giants. So yeah, the Giants could indeed give us a helping hand because that is in San Francisco. So that could help us out too. But Cubs fans, I think that will wrap it up for today. We are just catching up on the things that we have missed. We will go a little bit more in depth on Thursday when we do the whole series breakdown. I just wanted to get on here, talk about how I feel about the pitching so far. I think that the starters, even without Steele, have been holding their own. They're keeping you within games. Shota just happened to get hit against the Padres the last time around, but he gets the start tomorrow, which will be awesome. That could be definitely a get right game for him being at home. We all know that Shota is really, really good at Wrigley Field. So hopefully weather conditions are favorable so Kyle Tucker and Dansby Swanson could be knocking balls out of the park. But I think again the offense. I think that the offense is extremely well rounded. I think that this is the best well rounded offense that we have had in a very long time. Because let me just because I do believe that the Cubs also hold the best uh, runs per or run average and runs. So yeah, they definitely have the most runs scored by about 20. Well, it's 19 right now. But they have the best differential at plus 41. So yeah, I mean, like I said, the offense, man, they're putting up 2016 type numbers, and that's really encouraging to see. Not only because of them putting up those numbers, but because that they are doing it in many different ways. They're not just relying on the long ball. They're playing their small ball. They're getting their steals. They're taking their walks. I mean, they are extremely smart with their base running. I love what Council has done with the first and third base coaches, with how aggressive they are. I love Craig's aggressiveness with challenges when it's warranted. I love his conservatism with challenges when they're not needed. I think that everything going on with the Cubs offense right now could pay off. It's just a matter of the bullpen not completely imploding. As long as you keep putting together series, I think that the bullpen. I think that Council is doing it early enough that he's rotating guys out with guys down in AAA that he will find that core that he can trust. Because really, you just need a couple of guys that could go 2 innings when you need it. You just need a couple of guys that could go one, like Hodge, and then Presley, and then somebody who could cover for Presley if the Cubs are up by say 4 runs or more when you don't need Presley to close out a game. But I like I said, I think that Council is doing it right. I think that if the time to do it would probably be now, given your schedule, you definitely want to get that rotation going now so that you could figure out who you could trust once that schedule lightens up a little bit. I'm not saying, ooh, excuse me. I'm not saying that the schedule getting lighter automatically means more wins, but I do think that trying to figure it out right now while your schedule is the hardest and you're still continuing to find ways to win games, like I said, the Cubs are playing 600 ball right now, and you can't argue that. Um, I really do think that um, by figuring it out now, when the schedule gets a little bit lighter, that could help maybe some struggling guys in the bullpen get a couple of good confidence games in. You know what I mean? Um, Especially if you could do it like against the Brewers, that would be fantastic. I'm not saying that that's an automatic, but that could be something. But Cubs fans, let me know what you guys feel. How do you feel about the offense? Like I said, I think the offense is fantastic. What do you feel about the bullpen? I think that a couple of guys are turning it around. I think that Hodges' ERA is a little bit inflated at the moment. I feel like that will come back down. I'm happy to see that Presley is pointing in the right direction. He's gotten his ERA under 3 after starting above an 8. I think that Merriweather has been awesome. Palencia has been awesome since being called up. I think that the bullpen could be heading in the right direction. So you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think. And Cubs fans, we will talk to you guys after the Dodgers game tomorrow. You guys have a good one.